go, ladies and gentlemen, the new Cullinan, and it's my honour and privilege to introduce this fantastic new car and share this historic moment of Rolls-Royce motor cars history with you today. So Cullinan, where does it come from and what's the origin? So we started many years ago talking to customers and also people who had SUVs who were saying, we want Rolls-Royce to build an SUV, all the functionality, the versatility, the capability, but combine it with that Rolls-Royce luxury, because it doesn't exist. And what's made that possible is the new aluminium space frame, the architecture of luxury. We designed the four corners which underpins new model Phantom, which you all know and have learnt about, but that is effectively the backbone of Cullinan and also all new models that will come. Remembering Phantom remains the top, the pinnacle, the king of Rolls-Royces. What we've been able to do here is with Cullinan is create a completely new design language that answers what we were asked for, which was a car which had bold, big presence, not the delicate lines which we see on Phantom, on Wraith, but definitely big statement features that give that forceful first impression. So what is that? That is the tall Spirit of Ecstasy, the highest the Spirit has stood on any Rolls-Royce, from Goodwood, coming down through the front radiator, the radiator grille sitting uniquely on the front like a shield, almost protecting the car, and then framing that, the textures, the three-dimensional sculpture which comes horizontally off the sides of the car. So there's no shamedness in the design. It's not smooth with painted lights. It's very much three-dimensional, and that height and width and structure gives Cullinan its first impression of boldness. Lower down we can see even these stainless steel plates remind us of Cullinan's off-road capability. And the capability comes from what lies underneath this long sleek bonnet that runs up into the tall glass house, and that of course, is a Rolls-Royce V12 engine, 6.75 litres, 563 brake horsepower, but most importantly, it's the 850 newton meters of torque, which comes at just 1600 RPM. So very quickly, all of that power is instantly available. So combined with the ZF 8-speed automatic gearbox, the air suspension, the rear wheel steering and the stiffness of the body means that Cullinan is the leader of on-road magic carpet ride and on-road driving experience, which was priority one. We're Rolls-Royce and we will never compromise on any of that. Now as we walk around the car, we can talk a little bit about the off-road character of Cullinan. So the promise was a car that would be effortless everywhere. So what does that mean for us? We don't have many dials to choose from. It's not, am I in the snow, the mud, the sand? One button just to the right of the rotary controller, it says off-road. We press that and the car will raise by 40 millimeters and the all-wheel drive system will lock 50-50, meaning that 100% of the available power is going to all four wheels at all times. The air suspension is now pushing down towards the ground, constantly looking for contact, ensuring that maximum traction is underway and that you can indeed take that magic carpet ride from the road beyond. And it's as simple as that. And you've seen from National Geographic how capable that car can be, from the highlands to the desert to the mountains. Now taking the car inside profile, if you stand back and look, you'll see what our designers are talking about when they talk about a high-bodied car rather than an SUV. An SUV is the bonnet with a big square box on the back. And Cullinan has a few elegant lines which really change that character. You can see the body and the glass is more balanced. A fast roof line up the windscreen, tapering towards the back, giving a level of dynamism. And again, we've avoided the temptation to do big flat sides. The metal sculpted away down here and framed with these polished stainless steel spears that run horizontally along the side of the car. Now these raise the eye line to give the feeling that Cullinan is floating, but also it offers a level of protection to that lovely Rolls-Royce paintwork that our customers love. So these sit outboard from the car, giving you that level of protection, combined with the scuff plates which sit underneath. These will give our customers the confidence that they can take Cullinan slightly more adventurously without risk or fear of damaging their beautiful car. We should open the car now to see what the interior has to offer, so please. So coach doors, as you would expect from every Rolls-Royce, gives the first welcome. And here we have the 5-seat configuration. This is the bench seat, most suited to the family, the new people coming, as I said earlier, wanting that versatility and flexibility. But of course, Rolls-Royce remains Rolls-Royce. So we have higher seating in the rear to the front, 55 millimeters taller in the back and the front, ensuring that the passengers here have an equally great view out of the window, but also over those front passengers and through the front windscreen. The aluminium space frame doesn't just give us strength and rigidity to Cullinan, it also gives us practicality in terms of getting in and out of the car. Because of the space frame, we have thin sills and a flat floor, so getting in and out is totally effortless. And on the subject of coming out of the car, the door, you can see, is longer than the body, so it covers this part here. So even if you've driven through the mud, the snow, the rain, the outside of your car is dirty, but when you leave the car, and always your trousers or your dress might touch this part here, this is clean because this is the inside of the car. So it's those thoughtful details from Rolls-Royce that ensure that even if your car is less than perfect from soil and dust and everything else, when you arrive, you still are perfect indeed. technology, again, family oriented. Children are power hungry. They want power and for all of their technology. USB sockets to each of the doors in the rear. And behind the picnic tables, rear seat entertainment is now for the first time in a Rolls-Royce controlled by touch. Children, the youth, they don't like buttons, they like to touch and swipe, and so that is all there available for them. To the front, luxury materials. So of course, a command driving position, the veneers and the leathers, but here we have a very special leather. This is called box grain, and this is a reminder of the old and luxurious way that luggage manufacturers or belt manufacturers would make leather. We engrave a metal roller and we press it into the leather to give this lovely texture with gloss on the tips and matte in the grooves to give this three dimension that's very, very beautiful, but it's also very, very rugged. So what better material to have as a signature for Cullinan than a leather which is not only luxurious but rugged. This is not normal for an automotive, but of course Rolls-Royce brings that level of luxury like nobody else can. Onto the versatility, the folding seats. I can just press or pull, these buttons here to the rear, and there's one in each door. And you see both seats fold down perfectly to start being able to load additional items for those sporty, outgoing, adventurous families to bring into their car. So if we walk around to the back, we can talk a little bit more about the rear space of the car. But before we get there, I just want to say a few words about this portion here. So if you look at this C pillar, this 3/4 that wraps around, this adds to the lengthy view of the car, it adds to the proportions, but also it's a little historic reminder of touring Rolls-Royces where the luggage used to sit on the back of the car, the suitcases used to sit here. One would never travel with one's luggage. So this is a modern and contemporary homage to that execution, but also it means that when Cullinan is on the road and seen by the public, it will be instantly recognisable, which is an important thing that those people we spoke to early on demanded, that their Rolls-Royce was instantly recognisable and didn't just blend into the sea of SUVs. Now to the rear. Again, the aluminium body has allowed us to swoop in to avoid the boxiness, to keep the elegance. So the tail swoops in, giving us strong shoulder lines which wrap around the lights. The bright metalwork is no longer around the outside, but captured inside under glass as if to protect it. And again, this isn't phantom. It's not big shows of polished metal, but discreet, elegant, bright work either side. But even in the boot, we've pushed and moulded the metalwork in order to create this little plinth on which the Rolls-Royce badge sits. So now let's open the trunk. And here you can see the full volume that the customers will be able to enjoy for all of their gadgets, their luggage and everything else that they will want to take with them on their adventure. And just to the rear you will see there is a little small wall, a bulkhead. And this will stop smaller items from sliding into the body of the car when driving along. But of course, as we know, sometimes you will want to load longer items into the car, skis for example, and when you wish to do that, you need to do it effortlessly. So Rolls-Royce has invented a button, and you can see the boot floor now raises to create a ramp so that longer items can just be slid in effortlessly. So just here, you'll get a chance to look later, one button and the boot floor will either lower or raise to facilitate the easy access of longer items into the car. So once your trunk is loaded, we can simply put the seats back into position from the rear of the car, so no need to go back to the centre. The headrest just moving out of the way and then completing their journey into position. Locked in place, ready to receive its passengers. One button closes the clasp. And this particularly sporty and dynamic Cullinan is ready to go on its adventure. We wanted to show you two Cullinans today. This is very much the new, adventurous, dynamic configuration, something that looks and will appeal to those new customers coming to the brand. But what we have behind us is another Cullinan, which is maybe more familiar to our current Rolls-Royce customers. So follow me around the side. So here, I think you'll agree, this configuration is very urban, very chic, very elegant. With the dark exterior, the polished wheels, and that hand-painted coach line that gives a little clue as to what is inside. So without further ado, let's open, and here you can see a beautiful and luxurious Arctic white interior with all of the veneer throughout the car. But the main feature is obviously the main difference to this individual seats to the rear. So adjustable seats with a centre console running through the middle, a fixed centre console which houses glassware, charging points, champagne glasses and a champagne cooling fridge. But most of all is this unique, this world first, this glass partition that sits behind the headrests. And this separates the body of the car from the trunk. So when you have the air conditioning on, you have a perfect microclimate in here, which is very comfortable for passengers. And when the boot of the car is open for loading and unloading of shopping, luggage, etc., the climate here is unaffected by the exterior environment. Wind, rain, dust will not blow in to contaminate this exquisite interior. So if we take a quick journey to the back of the car, we have one more item to show you. So just before I open the lower half, there's another chance to see the glass partition separating the two. So later on, at the end of the year, we'll be able to offer customers a recreation module. So this is a complete unit that can fit into the trunk of the car. It's totally removable, totally retrofittable. And in here, there's a drawer system in which customers can put their own very special items. But this particular version is known as the viewing suite, and I'll show you now what that means. 버튼함으로 조작해서 뷰잉 스위트를 끊어도록 하겠습니다. So once you've driven in total luxury to the top of the mountain or to a football match in Russia, you can sit in the back, pop up a glass, a table to put a glass on to celebrate your fantastic victory and enjoy that with some great company, enjoy the sunset, enjoy the football or whatever experience you prefer. Right now we're going to enjoy the company of Mr. Paul Harris, who will join me and we will answer any questions that you will have.
지금부터 여기서 캐주얼하게 간단하게 Q&A를 이 상태에서 진행할 거니까요. 혹시 질문 있으신 분들은 질문 포인트를 해주시면 제가 마이크 전달드리고 질문 있다고 바로 하겠습니다.
우리말로 하면
네.
교통뉴스의 내용입니다. 차 사이즈가 어마어마하게 큰데 폭이 지금 2m가 넘고 길이도 5m가 넘는 사이즈인데 이런 크기의 차를 몰 수 있는 예를 들어 여성 운전자들이 많지 않을 것 같은데 그분들을 위해서 좀